Hello students, Market Segmentation Lesson 2. In today's class, let us discuss about basis for segmenting industrial markets, target market, product positioning tools. Let us discuss about basis for segmenting business markets. In segmenting business or industrial markets, marketers use some of the variables which are used in segmenting consumer markets like geography, benefits, and usage rate. However, business marketers also make use of other variables for segmenting business markets. Basis for segmenting industrial markets or business markets: location of the customer, type of customer, transaction conditions. Location of the customer. Marketers usually segment business markets geographically and concentrate on the geographical location of the industry. Organizations which process natural resources are located near the source for reducing the shipping cost. Coming to type of customer, industry. The firms which are selling their products to business customers in different industries will segment their markets based on the industry. Size. The size of business customers can be determined with the help of the factors like sales volume, number of employees, production facilities, number of sales offices, etc. Most of the sellers classify their potential market into large and small accounts with the help of separate distribution channels for reaching each segment. Organizational structure. Organizations try to sell their products in number of ways. Some of the organizations depend mainly on their purchasing departments for controlling the inflow of information, decreasing the number of possible alternatives, and conducting negotiations. The selling made to these firms need a strong personal selling effort by purchasing executives. It also requires excellent supporting materials when product exceeds the technical expertise of purchasing managers. Criteria for making purchase. Buyers want quality products at low cost and on time delivery. This factor plays a very important role for segmenting a business market. Transaction conditions. Some marketers make use of transaction conditions for segmenting their business markets. The sellers have to change their marketing efforts for managing various buying situations, usage rate, order size, purchasing method, service requirements, etc. Buying situation. On the basis of buying situation, the marketers segment their business market. Usage rate. For some products, marketers divide their markets between heavy users, light users, and non users. Purchase method. Consumers buy the products in different ways, such as leasing, financing, or by purchasing wholly. Now, let us have an idea about the business market or industrial market. similarly the consumer market, and let us differentiate between this business market and consumer market. Business or industrial market. Business market refers to a place where selling and buying of goods occurs between selling company and a buying company for resale. The buyer company purchases the goods or services in order to sell them further and obtain profits. It includes individuals and organizations who involve in acquisition of goods and services through purchase or supply of goods and resell them in the consumer market. In this type of market, the buying and selling of goods and services occur between two or more businesses. The main intention for purchasing the goods from a business market is to resell them at a higher price and attain profitability. The primary industrial market types are agriculture, forestry, mining, fisheries, transportation, manufacturing, communication, insurance, construction, banking, etc. It is also called producer's market. Consumer market. Consumer market refers to a place where buying and selling of goods takes place between consumers and sellers. In this market, the consumers buy goods or services for consumption and usage. The goods or services purchased from consumer market are not meant for resale. The consumers have the liberty to select and purchase goods or services based on their tastes, interests, and requirements. It is highly affected by brand loyalty of consumers. The major types of consumer markets are foods, consumer products, retail, beverages, transportation, etc. Consumer marketing is the process of creating interest among the consumers regarding a product within a consumer market. It refers to implementation of a marketing strategy to promote the sales or purchases of a product or service among consumers. Now let us focus on the differences between business market and consumer market based on certain aspects, certain criteria. First, let us focus on the meaning. Business market versus consumer market. Business market refers to a place where selling and buying of goods occurs between selling company and a buying company for resale. In case of consumer market, it refers to a place where buying and selling of goods takes place between consumers and sellers. Coming to the number of buyers. In business market, it consists of a large number of buyers when compared to organizations in consumer markets. Consumer market, it consists of small number of buyers. Buying decision. Business market, it focuses on the buying decision based on the business markets are influenced by several people. Decisions are influenced by several people, whereas in case of consumer market, the business buying decision in consumer markets are influenced by lesser number of people. Customer and supplier relationship. In business market, there is a close relationship between the supplier and customer in business market, whereas in consumer market, close relationships do not exist between supplier and the customer in consumer markets. Sales calls. Business market, it involves multiple sales calls for obtaining more number of business orders. In consumer market, it does not involve multiple sales calls. Changing demand. In business market, the demand for business goods or services is sensitive and changes rapidly. In consumer market, the demand for consumer goods or services is stable and does not change rapidly. Derived demand. In business market, the demand for business goods or services arises from the demand for consumer goods or services. In consumer market, the demand for consumer goods or services do not depend on the demand for business goods or services. Elasticity of demand. The total demand of most of the business goods and services are inelastic. That is, the percentage change in price will not have any effect in price and percentage change in demand. Whereas in consumer market, the demand for consumer goods service is elastic. Percentage change in price affects the percentage change in demand. Criteria. Professional buying. Business market has well-trained professional buyers are involved in buying the goods, services of the business market. Whereas in consumer market, the goods of consumer markets are not purchased by professional buyers. Now, let us discuss about target market. A target market is defined as a group of customers who share common tastes, needs, and preferences that the company decides to serve. After segmenting the market, the marketing manager must select the target market which the company desires to serve. Once the target market is determined, it helps the organization to decide as to which market segment needs to be selected. Segmentation mainly explains about the different types of markets. Targeting explains who should be targeted and the method of targeting. A target market can be selected based on some guidelines. A target market must be consistent with the image and objectives of the firm. The market opportunities of the target market should match with the resources of the organization. For surviving in a market, the firm should earn profit. A firm should try to enter the markets which helps in producing sufficient sales volume at a low cost for earning profit. A firm should enter a market in which there are very less competitors or weak competitors. It must not enter a market which is already overloaded with the competitors. The steps involved in target marketing are dividing the market into segments along with their marketing potential, analyzing the relative worth of each segment in terms of sales, profit, growth, evaluating the segment on the basis of their attractiveness and its compatibility with the firm's resources, decision making regarding whether the whole market or only a few segments need to be selected, analyzing the market for segments where the customer needs are not completely satisfied, evaluating the firm's resources in order to match them with the marketing requirements of the target market, finally, selecting the target market which holds the profit and growth potential and are suitable to the organization's brand. Now, let us focus on the strategies of target marketing. Target marketing is the sum of all activities involved in evaluating different markets for selecting the most potential target market, and the strategies for target marketing comprises of five in number. First one is focusing on single segment. By focusing on a single segment, a firm can obtain knowledge about the needs of a segment and can attain a strong market position. A firm can also obtain the benefits of operating economics by specializing in production, distribution, and promotion, earns a high return on its investment. The firms seek to work in super segments instead of isolated segments. Super segments are the segments which share some similarities. Second strategy is selective specialization. A firm chooses number of segments which are equally important and attractive. All segments have the potentiality of a money maker and helps the firm to spread its risk in multiple segments. Third one is product specialization. In this pattern of target market selection, a firm produces a specific product and sells it to various market segments. This helps the firm to sell their products to different customer groups, earn a strong reputation in the specific product area. Market specialization. In this pattern of target market selection, a firm focuses on serving several needs of a particular customer group. This helps a firm to earn a strong reputation in serving this customer group and to act as a medium for additional products which the customer groups can use. Finally, the strategy is related to market coverage, full market coverage. In this pattern of target market selection, the firm sells the products needed by all the customer groups. These firms serve the whole market in two ways: undifferentiated marketing, differentiated marketing. Now, let us discuss about the evaluation and importance of target marketing. Identifying a segment is not enough to target. The segments are evaluated on basis of their attractiveness. As most of the attractive segments do not match with the long run objectives of the firm or do not have the capabilities for offering superior values. Evaluation can be carried out through four ways: segment size and growth, segment structural attractiveness, suitability, customer profitability segmentation. It includes information on current sales, projected growth rate of the segment, and expected profit margin. Segment structural attractiveness. It includes current and potential competitors, substitute product to services, relative power of buying and relative power of suppliers. Suitability, determining whether the segment fits the company's objectives and resources. Customer profitability segmentation. It involves identification of customers which differ in current or future profitability to a firm. Importance of target marketing. It helps in identifying the actual requirements of customers. It allows to target consumers as per their requirement or interest. It enables to differentiate the customers into different segments. As such, it gets easy to target and sell the company's products. It is essential for saving the business resources which are required for marketing. It maximizes the returns from money invested in marketing. increases the sales by utilizing less marketing resources. Target marketing enhances the profitability and increases revenue generation through optimum utilization of firms' resources allocated for marketing. Now we discuss about product positioning tools. So first let us focus on product positioning. Product positioning tools and the steps in developing market perceived quality profile. So, product positioning, the process of creating position of a product and its attributes through a conscious marketing strategy among the consumers and other prospects is known as product positioning. It is the way the product is defined by consumers on important attributes, the place the product occupies in consumers' mind relative to competing products. Some dominant companies or brands in the consumer's mind. The position of a brand is a result of the management strategy followed by the company. Every product cannot be everything to everyone. Some products can be something to someone. This vision is the basis for positioning. For example, Fastrack is one of the top brands in watch industry. Top brand is decided by comparing the qualities of top brand with other competitor brand qualities. The competitor brands reclaim the top position is known as product positioning. Now, let us discuss about the positioning tools, product positioning tools. Product positioning tools refer to the tools which are used to position a new product in the market. They help in defining the market position of the product before initiating customer interviews. A positioning strategy is formulated for positioning the product, and a suitable positioning tool is selected to attain maximum profitability through product positioning. Market perceived quality profile. It is used to position any important product features or service features which are essential to a consumer while purchasing a new product. The commercialization team uses this information to compare the positioning of the new product with already positioned products of competitors having such product features. If the product does not generate sufficient sales, it is taken for further analysis. Certain factors affect the buyer's decision of a product. The commercialization team uses market perceived quality profile to identify and provide rating to the importance of each need of the consumer when compared to another. It is also used to determine the extent to which the company's product is capable of satisfying consumer needs when compared to competitors' product. Now let us discuss about the various steps involved in developing market perceived quality profile. Identifying or identification of consumer requirements. In this step, commercialization team identifies the primary needs, requirements of the consumer along with various factors affecting the buyer's decision in the target market. Second step, developing a competitive position and market share analysis. In this step, the commercialization team develops a competitive position and conducts a market share analysis. It is conducted for determining the relative importance of quality when compared to importance of price in buyer's decision. The market share and prices of our company's products are compared with market share and prices of competitors' products. The commercialization team also determines the relative technological position of the firm compared with the technological position of the competitor's firm. Evaluating the market's sensitivity to price and quality. In this step, the commercialization team evaluates whether the market is driven by price requirements or quality requirements. It helps in determining the current position of the company within the market without any disadvantage or advantage relating to technology, selling price, or production costs. It provides an opportunity to the firm for developing a new strategy to enhance the profitability of the firm. Identifying the relative importance of requirements. In the final step, the commercialization team identifies the relative importance of every non-price quality requirement on basis of available information. A customer group which affects the purchasing decision is selected. Each customer requirement is rated on a scale of 1 to 10 for the firm's current product and the competitor's product. The gap estimate and weighted rating for every customer requirement is calculated. Interpreting the output, the gap between the firm and the best quality competitor in every customer requirement is the primary output of the market perceived quality profile. It can be either positive or negative. A negative gap shows that efforts should be made to reduce and overcome the gap. A positive gap shows that the firm has attained a competitive advantage in the target market over its competitors. Positioning maps or perceptual mapping. Perceptual mapping, also known as multi-dimensional scaling, is an indirect method used by marketers for assessing the perceptions of the customers or potential customers by applying the marketing research methodology. In this method, there is a spatial representation of products or distribution in space of points on several aspects. This forms a perceptual map. The perceptual mapping is based on the perceived likeness or difference among the products. The perceived characteristics are distributed in perceptual maps in the product space. The perceived characteristics are interpreted as per their positions or locations in space of several dimensions along the axis represents the attribute. Steps in perceptual mapping. Perceptual mapping is a two-step process: data collection, data analysis, and interpretation. Data is collected through discriminant analysis, accommodates a lot of information in less dimensionally space about different product features and remain unchanged even after addition of attributes. Weighted combination of attributes forms the dimensions of the perceptual map. After the formation of the dimensions, each individual product's mean score of each dimension is calculated for plotting the product's location in space. The mean for each attribute and dimension is 0, whereby the center of all the plotted points is at the center of the space. Coming to the positioning and the positioning strategies. Positioning is the act of designing the company's offer so that it occupies a distinct and valued place in the minds of the target customers. Strategies of positioning. The most common approach followed is to position a brand on the basis of the benefits derived by using the product or the special features which are being offered. Positioning by price. Marketers use the price for positioning their products. Price sensitive customers. The advertisements are designed to highlight the product having reasonable and affordable price. Positioning by application, approach of positioning a brand to specify the application of the product. Approach has two major advantages. It helps in attracting the target audience. It is an effective way to expand the market for the product by highlighting its multi-purpose uses, and it also attracts new customers. Positioning by product class. Many organizations position their products against a totally different class of products. Next, positioning by product user. Another effective positioning approach is to relate a product with a particular group of users. Positioning by competitor. The present day markets are full with similar products. The firm needs to position its brand by taking into consideration the different positioning strategies of its competitors. Competitors' image is just as important as your own. Positioning by cultural symbols. This is a new brand positioning approach. Under this, firm positions its brand using highly entrenched cultural symbols. Positioning by quality. Several companies position their products based on quality to attract customer attention by positioning their products as high quality products. Now let us discuss about criteria for successful positioning. Creating unique product proposition, availability of competition, suitable market segment, sensitive market segment, information on consumer behavior. First one, creating unique product proposition. Product proposition refers to the utility offered by different features of a product. The proposition expected by a consumer should match with the proposition which a firm is willing to offer. Effective product proposition enhances customer satisfaction and increase the sale. Maximum profitability can be achieved through product proposition by presenting the unique features and utility of the product effectively. Availability of competition. Efficiency of positioning strategy depends upon the availability of competition. Position strategy is a plan which is designed to deal with any challenging situations created by opponents or competitors. Generally, positioning or repositioning of products is done whenever the competitors of the firm position or reposition their products. A positioning strategy is said to be successful if it is capable to beat the competitor's strategy in the market. Suitable market segment. Market segment should be wide and extensive. A well positioned product can survive in the market. It encourages the manufacturer to produce products and continue their business in the market. The market segment should have people with suitable knowledge and expertise which is required for making the market profitable. It also helps in understanding customer needs, tastes, and identification of such customers. It enables the marketer to reach those customers and implement the positioning strategy. Sensitive market segment. A sensitive market segment is a market segment which rapidly responds to any query or message communicated by the manufacturer. It should take necessary steps to fulfill the requirement of the manufacturer. The marketing segment should receive the message or information and provide a sufficient response. Each message or piece of information is specifically designed for a particular market segment. It should be understood and communicated to the consumers and potential consumers effectively. When there is effective flow of information from the manufacturer to the end user, then positioning strategy can be implemented effectively. Information on consumer behavior. Product positioning is considered as an alternative for linking the company's product image with self-image of a consumer. It involves collecting consumer behavior information, understanding and interpreting it. Information should be sufficient, detailed, latest. Such consumer behavior information is essential for proper positioning of the product, helps in understanding various aspects of a buyer's decision, such as consumer needs, cause of the need, type of consumer, mode of purchase, time, source of purchase, quantity of goods purchased, etc. All this information can be used to formulate a product positioning strategy which satisfies the consumer needs and company's objective. If we see different toilet soaps in our country, the brand positioning strategies differ. Let us take soaps, for example, Lifebuoy, Dettol, Lux, Pears, Dove. Different brands of toilet soaps, and they have unique positioning strategies. If you see Lifebuoy soap, Lifebuoy was introduced in the year 1895 at a very reasonable price. The main aim of Lifebuoy is to satisfy the health and hygienic needs of billions of Indians, as it basically provides a complete health benefit to the whole family. Therefore, Lifebuoy is regarded as one of the largest selling soap in the world. Right from its introduction, Lifebuoy has been a brick red in color, like a perfume, along with the Lifebuoy jingle has got immense popularity throughout India. From the year 2002 to 2004, Lifebuoy has tried several innovative formulations and repositioning in order to increase its popularity among the youth of the new generation. Lifebuoy is currently available in new fragrance and shape. The new Lifebuoy gives a superior bathing experience and a softer feeling on the skin. Presently, Lifebuoy is offering Lifebuoy Gold or Lifebuoy Care, which provides health benefits and gives protection from germs, which results in skin discoloration. Dettol soap. Rocket and Coleman India Limited introduced the Dettol soap in the year 1981 and positioned it as a love and care soap. Due to the bad response, the Dettol soaps company decided to launch the product again in the market in a green wrapper as a germicidal soap. And it is a leader in the antiseptic category. Recently, the company launched Dettol Liquid hand wash soap, which was successful in gaining 18% of the Indian market. Lux is one of the most trusted personal care brand of India. It was introduced in the market in the year 1929 and offers a wider range of soaps in various colors and fragrances. Lux is famous for its promise of beauty and glamour. Lux has four variants for its customers: almond oil and milk cream, sandal, saffron and milk cream, exotic flower petals and oil and fruit extracts, and honey in milk cream. Peers was launched in India in the year 1902 as a transparent umber colored toilet soap. Peers have a unique quality of transparency which is due to its glycerin content, because of which it is considered as a glycerin based soap which is best suitable for dry skin. Peers is present in three different variants: traditional umber variant, green variant for controlling oil, and a blue variant for protecting from germs. In January 2006, Peers Junior was introduced as a fourth variant of Peers. Dove. Basically, Dove was introduced in the United States of America and in European nations in the 1957 by Unilever. It was introduced in India in the year 1995. Dove soap presented itself as a refreshingly real alternative for women who believe that beauty is not simply how you look, it is actually about how you feel. So, with this, we have completed market segmentation, and in coming classes, we can focus on the product development, new product development. Thank you very much.